podcast number 34. My name is Mallory, otherwise known as Just a Dose of Love, all around the internet. So you can find me on Instagram, Reddit, Facebook, Ravelry, and Etsy under Just a Dose of Love, though I am most active on Instagram. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for coming to check out this video podcast. We talk about knitting and crafts and whatever other crafty thing I happen to be doing at the time. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I'm recording on October 3rd. It's about noon in Edmonton, Alberta, where I live with my favorite feline, Sasika Sonia, Chris, and a snake named Heidi. So I have a ton of things to show you guys today. So I'm just going to jump right into what is on my needles, and I'm going to try not to hit this fern too many times because it's going to be very distracting otherwise. Sorry about that. So the first thing that is on my needles is my Storm Shawl by Joji Locatelli. I have done absolutely nothing on it in the last month, so I'm just not going to talk about it since it's been on the back burner for a little bit now. So I'm just going to show you the second thing that is on my needles, and this is the brick sweater by Sew Knit. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I started this a couple of days ago. So let me show you the pattern first. Please excuse the crinkling of my pattern paper here while I flip to the front. So this is the sweater. It's a little pullover. It looks, pretty cute. Actually, I think it's going to be really cute when it's done. So this is the pattern here, and I'm knitting it up in this beautiful teal colorway here. Now this is the, how do you say it, Reknit yarn. So it's 100% acrylic. It's their worsted weight, and it's their teal colorway. So it's got this beautiful teal color here, which actually is very similar to the color I just painted my ugly old mustard yellow tile wall a couple of weeks ago. I actually just painted a wall in my kitchen a color very similar to this. A little less blue, a little more green. Anyways, getting distracted. So I only started this sweater yesterday, maybe 2 days ago. I haven't done much work on it. I'm just getting to the part now where I'm going to be joining the neck, and then I'll be starting the body after I remove the shoulders. Place the shoulders on a stitch holder while I knit the body. So here it is. Again, I haven't done a ton on it, but I have worked pretty quickly so far for the amount of time that I've spent on it. Now the pattern calls for, I believe it's size 9 maybe? Nope, 10. Calls for size 10 needles, which I'm not sure what that is in millimeters, unfortunately, but I couldn't get gauge with those, as tends to be the case apparently with me. So I switched down to size 8 needles, and they're the 5.0 millimeters, and this has got me pretty close to the gauge that I need. So this was the same thing that happened with my ease sweater. I guess I'm just a looser knitter than I thought when it comes to probably everything, but for sure sweaters. for sure sweaters. So that is the biggest thing that I have on the go at this current point in time, though I will be starting another project this afternoon, which I will talk to you about later. Okay, so that is all that I currently have on my needles. I'm gonna take a quick little coffee break here. So I'm drinking Folgers Keurig K-Cups, and it is their caramel drizzle coffee, and I whipped up some whipped cream in the KitchenAid mixer because it's so easy to do that, and I just topped it on top, and it's beautiful little desserty coffee for my morning here. Yep, okay, that's a nice little distraction there. What is off my needles? So I have a couple of things to show you. The first is going to be, choices. my Through the Tree socks. So Through the Trees is a pattern that I had released probably about 1.5 years ago now. For anyone who is unaware, I have taken it upon myself to reknit all of my released patterns and republish them, just to make sure that the pictures are the way I want them and the right kind of yarn to complement the pattern, and to make sure that all of my stitch descriptions are standardized across all of my patterns, because that would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Yes. So that is what I'm doing. I'm slowly working my way through those. The first one that I re-released was my law school socks. This is the original, so it doesn't really show the pattern as well as I would like it to with the yarn. The yarn's a little bit busy for the pattern, but I gave the finished reknit set to my sister, so those are no longer with me and I can no longer show you the new ones. So those ones were re-released. My second sock pattern that was re-released was my Bumblebush socks, and here they are here. These are knit up in an Ancient Arts colorway. I believe it's called Jazz Dance. I should have written in my notes, but I didn't. It's this nice little textured pattern, super simple to memorize. It's a lot of knit and purls. So there's the second one. Why am I going through this? I don't know, I just like to show off socks. And the third one, so my Through the Trees socks, the ones that we're actually talking about. I finished both of them, so I have a finished pair to show you. Now, here's the first one. So you can see the pattern is kind of got these little triangles. They made me think of trees, which is where the name came from. Just a nice little textured, lacy type thing going on here. And this reknit is done in Lily & Pine Fiber Arts, so that's the dyer. It's her Daylily sock base, and the colorway is the Peach Pit, and it's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon blend. So here it is. It's done cuffed down with an afterthought heel. So here it is. And I'll show you on my sock blocker as well. And that should show off the pattern just a little bit better. Oh yeah, there we go. So with the way the light is hitting it, you can actually see the pattern quite a bit better on these sock blockers. So there they are. I think this colorway is perfect for these socks. I absolutely am in love with how they turned out. It's got this little faux cable all the way as a border on the sides. So it's not an actual cable, it's knit two together and slip stitch knits with yarn overs, and there it is. It's just a fun little pattern. So there it is. I don't have a release date yet for the re-release. You can still find the original pattern on Ravelry, and once the re-release is done, I will have both updated on Etsy and Ravelry, and there will be a coupon code that will be available for those if you'd like to pick up this pattern. So there it is. Yay! I've been on a bit of a sock kick lately. I'm not even really particularly sure why. Maybe they're just a little bit quicker? Maybe, hard to say. Okay, so that was one project there that I had finished. The second one, now this is really exciting for me. A little bit of backstory here. Last year I had decided to design and knit a hat for all of the lovely ladies that I work with in the office at my job, and I didn't end up publishing any of those patterns. Of course, now they have all been given away, the hats have all been given away, and I really wanted to reknit the patterns as I had them and then go through the whole testing and publishing process. So I have officially finished the first one. This hat, originally I made it for a lady named Charlene who was in our office. While the colors were perfect for her, they weren't very good for the pattern. A lot of the detail was lost because it was multicolored yarn, which is gorgeous, gorgeous multicolored yarn, but it took away a little bit from the lace. So I have reknit it here, and here it is. So it's a slouchy hat. It's got cables going up here. It's got all of this lace bit here, and it's got this little triangle-y motif. So the brim also has the cables. Yeah, you can see the whole thing just flows really nicely together, I think anyways, from the brim all the way to the top, and this is what the crown looks like. So this is knit up in Knitly Road. She's a Canadian dyer on her DK Polworth base. It is 100% superwash New Zealand Polworth. And I have no idea what the colorway is. Hang on for one sec. Okay, so I got the tag. It was sitting right over there, just out of reach though. It is on her Cider House colorway. So this is the tag if you did want to see it. Of course, with my camera, it's all going to be flipped anyways, so sorry about that. But here it is. And it's just this beautiful neutral yarn. It's got little bits of yellow that poke through, some more pink spots, some like browny pinks. It's got an overall like rose gold feel to me. And I'll just put it on here so you can see how it sits. Now this has been blocked, and I have clips in my hair, so of course it doesn't really want to sit flat because of those clips, but here it is. Yeah, there it is from the side. So I'm really in love with it. I will likely be doing a call for test knitters soon-ish, probably in the next 2 weeks, if I had to guess. That'll be it. I don't really want to take this off because my hair is going to go one side too. But it's really warm in the house. So, oh, hey, that's not too bad. That didn't go too poorly at all. Another thing I just wanted to mention with this is Charlene typically ran very warm. She was warm all the time. You know, those people who are just a little bit more warm-blooded than everyone else. So that was the reason, specifically, that there was so much lace in the crown of this hat, because I didn't want her poor head to get too warm while she was out and about wearing it. So, there. I am so proud of this hat. I am so proud of this design. It's very a non-humble thing to say, but I am very proud. I have no idea what the name is going to be yet. I think all six hats, maybe 5, however many there were in that design process from last year. I'd like to make them kind of all belong to a series that I want to call the Goddess series. So I'm looking for names of the goddesses that I think most closely suit the personalities of those lovely ladies. So that is my plan. I'm blabbing a whole lot here, so I'm just gonna stop. And I'll move on to the next section of this video podcast here. So upcoming and current items of note. You'll have to excuse me for a minute while I read off my screen here because my memory is not so good. So tutorials. If you have been paying attention on my YouTube channel, there have been 2 tutorials released. One is called Afterthought Everything Socks, and it walks through separating the sock tube. And then the other one is Afterthought Everything Heels and cutting in the heel. So those 2 are both on YouTube. And my next one, I believe, is going to be walking through the Kitchener stitch and how to avoid the little donkey ears on the ends of your heels and toes, which was a problem that I had a lot when I was starting to knit socks. And I was a little ashamed, honestly, to show some of my knitting friends my socks because they had just these little like donkey ears on either side of where the toe is closed in. And I don't really know how to explain this, but the way that I do it now, just grab this sock here, you can see it's very oval, there's nothing really sticking out. And that's the heel and the toe here. same thing. Oh, there's a little bit right there, but okay, there we go. Just a nice clean edge, no little extra bits. It was just something that I struggled with when I was starting my sock knitting adventures, and again, I was just a little embarrassed to show some of the more experienced knitters that I know my socks for no reason. They're not judgmental people at all. I just, you know, I like things to look perfect, which is a flaw of mine. Anyways, rambling. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. I'm gonna keep talking. Okay. I mentioned already the Bumblebush pattern and Law School patterns have both been re-released on Ravelry and Etsy. Now, one thing I did want to mention, which has nothing to do so much with them being released on Etsy, is I've been doing a free coupon for the patterns on Ravelry as they're re-released, usually for about 2 weeks. Now, Etsy won't let me do that. I have to list it for at least 23 cents US for some strange reason. I don't really understand it, but Etsy will not let me list a free pattern. So unfortunately, for everyone who's having the accessibility issues on Ravelry and is using Etsy instead, I'm not sure what else to do about that. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. I am absolutely open and all ears to other suggestions. So that is just one thing I wanted to mention there. Okay, now we're 15 minutes into this already, and I still have to show you all of my stash enhancement. So, a couple of weeks ago, there was kind of an open house type, I don't really know how to explain this. So there's a lady who is a friend of my boss, who knows that my boss really likes to knit and has a knitting group. And this lady, her name is Betsy. Her mom had passed away a couple years ago, and she was a very avid fiber crafts enthusiast. She worked at a local yarn store. She was just like, she knew her yarn crafts, fiber crafts, and she was very enthusiastic about it. So when she passed away, there was all of this yarn and crafting tools that was left over. So Betsy had a kind of like an open house for people who knit, who were kind of in that circle, because she wanted it to go to people who would use it and enjoy it. And I went to this, and I can't even tell you how grateful, how much gratitude I feel for one, being invited, and two, the amount of things that I was given. I am just like blown away. I was so blown away. I still am blown away. Yeah, so I just wanted to start it with that, and like, holy crap, gratitude, so much gratitude. I can't even say it enough. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I got there, starting with the yarn. So Betsy's mom, she was a fan of linen. I've never knit with linen, but I'm pretty excited to knit with linen now because I have all of this linen that I can make things with. And I've heard such great things about linen and how, you know, it feels so strange when you start knitting with it, and then after it's get washed once or twice, it is just the softest thing. So linen. I have 3 balls here of this Burger du Nord. Please excuse my lack of accent. I think Veracruz is the base. I'm not entirely sure. There's no color that I can see on the tag, so I'm just going to call it orange. And it's a 74-26% linen viscose blend. And I have 3 of these balls. So these are 50-gram cakes, I guess. Cakes of yarn. And yeah, you know how much I love orange, so I was hoping maybe I could make a little bit of a, either like a cropped sweater or a tank top with it. So yeah, I'm really excited. you know, I can tell already how much softer it's going to be when it is washed. So if you have knit anything with linen as far as clothing goes and you have a pattern to suggest, please let me know. Again, I'm all ears and definitely open to hearing suggestions. So that was one set. The second set, these do have tags. So they are the Louet brand, and it's their Euroflax. And again, this is 100% wet spun linen. So this is on their cream colorway. And then same everything, different colorway. This is a Champaign. I do have 2 of these. And then the third one is the Pewter colorway. So I'm thinking this could be a really nice light sweater or a shawl. Although that would be a really big shawl because this is 100-gram skein. So probably a sweater, I think. That's here. And I said again, so much gratitude. So much gratitude. There was one other set of yarn that I wanted to show you, but I see that it is on the other side of the room there and I didn't bring it over, so I'm just going to leave that for next podcast. I also picked up a yarn winder from Betsy as well, and 2 drop spindles. So I have been wanting to learn how to spin yarn for such a long time. There was a book that I read back in junior high that the main character, she would spin. She knew how to use a drop spindle and she would just spin yarn. And I have just been enthralled with the idea of learning how to do that since then. So this is a good like 10, 15 years that I have had a secret desire to learn how to spin with a drop spindle. I mean, a spinning wheel would be so cool. However, start small. Let's start small. Small. We'll start with a drop spindle. So I have a drop spindle that I'm going to learn how to spin yarn on, and I am so excited. First, I'm just going to need to get the roving. I think that's what it's called. Pardon me if it is not. I have no idea how to, well, I've looked up some videos now on how to spin, but this is a whole new world to me. Okay. Next, there's a yarn butler. So I didn't even know these things were, like, these were a thing. This is JFQ Collectibles, I believe. Nope, JFW? JFQ, it is JFQ. I wrote it wrong in my notes. I remembered it right. JFQ Collectibles, and it's a yarn butler. Now these are handmade in Michigan, USA. I had no idea these were a thing, but wow, where have you been all my life? Wow. Yeah. And now that I have a ball winder, stick them right on there. And then I don't have to worry about my my cakes falling apart when I knit, which frankly is the reason that I'm not a fan of yarn cakes. And now I don't have a reason to avoid the yarn cakes. Oh, here's a mess. Sorry, distracted. Okay, what else? An incredible sweater machine. She had an incredible sweater machine. So I'm going to learn how to use this thing. And let me tell you, how well has this worked out that I have this entire new craft room, and now I have all of these crafting things to put in said craft room. Wow! I can't even believe how everything came together like that. Incredible. I am just blown away. Incredible sweater machine. So it is missing the carriage, however, you can buy parts online, so I will be doing that. And once I have done that, I will learn how to do it. I will learn how to use it. Now, as far as I understand, it's not for circular knitting, it is for knitting long segments of, what am I trying to say? You can knit the back of a sweater, you can knit a blanket, you can knit parts of a sweater that are straight and then seam them together. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You can do shaping on it, but you can't do round knitting on it. You'll have to do seams. So cardigans, beautiful. Front and back sweaters that have to be seamed together, gonna be perfect. I could make blankets. I could make blankets. Holy crap. Okay, contain the excitement. And last, but most certainly not least, Betsy's mom she was a weaver. So she had a loom, which had been given away a couple of years ago already, but she also had a table loom. So I was gifted this Dorothy 4-shaft table loom. I'm just grateful. Gratitude. Wow. So I'm learning how to use it. I have it here in front of me, so please excuse me if I fall off my chair while I lift this to show you. Ooh, earthquake. Okay, so here it is. Table loom. It's got the 4 shafts there. And then you can see I spent some time playing around with it. So this is my test fabric here. And yeah, oh my goodness, we really moved the camera here. Let's move this back. Better? Yeah, better. So I am going to be a weaver. I am going to fulfill all of my yarn dreams. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna learn how to weave. I'm already learning how to weave. Today, after this podcast, I plan to go grab some yarn that I can dye, because then I'll be less upset if I ruin it all. So I'm gonna buy some yarn that I can dye. I'm gonna spend the afternoon dyeing it, and I already have a pattern picked out to give this a real crack at it. And I'm thinking Christmas presents, scarves. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Wow. Yeah, gratitude. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, and like I said before, it's been a busy little bit here. I did that, oh, earthquake again, sorry. I did that painting of my tile wall in the kitchen. That I am so happy with how that turned out. It took so much time. So these are ceramic tiles. They are like from the 70s or the 80s, and they were this terrible muted mustard color. Gross. And they are like the smooth ceramic tiles. So we got some really good primer. I think I only did 1 coat of primer. Yes, I only did 1 coat of primer. Got the like little itty bitty roller and the microfiber roller end piece, I guess. Roller? Yeah, roller and handle. So got the really smooth one because I got the glossy finish. And I painted the whole thing turquoise. It took 1 coat of primer and 2 coats of paint. But I'm so happy with how it turned out. It has made my orange colored cupboards just pop. It just stands out so well with the green on the other walls. I can't even tell you how happy I am. And I have been trying to figure out what to do with that wall since I moved in, which was 2014. So this is quite a while now. And now it's painted. I'm so happy with how my house has come together, with a couple of loose ends that I've been doing, like my craft room here and the kitchen walls in the last couple of months. It has been an incredibly busy couple of months since Connor moved out, but I'm so pleased with how everything has turned out and the progress that I've made on the house here. Yeah. So that was a lot to talk about. I am going to cut it here, And yeah, I thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I know it's been a little bit, but I was just a little bit exhausted from everything that had been going on with the painting and the redecorating, and didn't end up doing a podcast 2 weeks ago. This is, not sure where I was going with that. Thank you for coming to spend some time with me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are not subscribed and you would like to subscribe to this channel and get notifications when new videos come up, hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell icon right next to it and you'll get those notifications. If you guys could give it a thumbs up, I would really appreciate that. And I hope you have an absolutely spectacular start to your October. Stay safe and happy and healthy, and I will see you again soon.